Brought to you by Penguin.
The Railway Girls by Maisie Thomas. Read by Julia Franklin. In February 1922, at the westernmost entrance to Victoria Station in Manchester, a massive memorial was unveiled. It filled an entire wall, the top half of which was made up of coloured tiles, laid out to depict a map of the old Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. Below this stretched a row of 9 bronze panels in all. The panel at the right-hand end showed St. George on his rearing horse, using his spear to slay the dragon. At the left-hand end stood St. Michael the Archangel, sword aloft, his foot on the neck of a vanquished Lucifer. These two panels were each flanked by two narrower panels depicting flaming torches, each one bearing a single word: unity, strength, courage, and sacrifice. This tablet is erected to perpetuate the memory of the men of the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, whose names are recorded and who gave their lives for their king and country in the Great War, 1914 to 1919. The 7 bronze panels in between those of the two saints were engraved with long lists of the names of the fallen, men who had left their jobs on the railway to fight in the Great War. A total of 1,460 men from the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway gave their lives in the war to end all wars. In March 1940, a group of women stand in front of the war memorial. They are of varying ages and backgrounds and come from different social classes. A solicitor's wife, a factory owner's daughter, a sewing machinist, a debutante, a working-class housewife, a clerk, a young wife who's been wrapped in cotton wool, and a girl who wasn't tall enough for the switchboard. On the surface, they form a diverse group, but they have one thing in common: their willingness and determination, under threat of invasion, to do their bit in this new world war by rising to the challenge of working as railway girls. Unity, strength, courage, and sacrifice. Chapter 1. February 1940. I don't care what war work I do, or where I do it, as long as it isn't here. Mabel perched on the wooden chair on one side of the acres of scarred wood that formed Miss Eckersley's desk. There was certainly no need for such a huge desk. All it bore was a couple of ledgers, held upright between bookends, and a card index in a box. A hole in the corner of the desktop held a sunken inkwell, while a long groove housed 2 sharp pencils and a fountain pen. Mabel's back prickled with awareness of the townsfolk standing in an orderly queue behind her. Supposedly, they were at a sufficient distance to allow her to conduct this conversation in private. But to Mabel, with nerves skittering like mad throughout her body, they felt a jolly sight closer than Miss Eckersley did. She had hoped that by coming here in the afternoon there'd be fewer people present. Maybe there were, but it didn't feel like it. Were they earwigging? Putting 2 and 2 together? Drat them to hell and back if they were. She fixed her chin in what she hoped was a determined line, and looked the Labour Exchange lady directly in the eye. Miss Eckersley had a reputation locally for keeping more or less the entire population of the town of Annaby, as well as many a moorland village, in regular employment, refusing to permit anyone to skive on the dole. Miss Eckersley didn't so much as blink at Mabel's outspokenness. "You have no desire to work for your father, then, Miss Bradshaw?" "No." Did that come out too quickly? She smiled. Or did she?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?